Hey guys, it's Silent again. Our server that's opening is using a new type of economy plugin. It's called Ultimate Economy, and this plugin has a lot of different features, most of which were duplicated by other plugins that we were using, but the main one that I want to go over is the actual shop system, because it's very unique. It's not the same chest and sign usage that we've been accustomed to using. It's going to be using villager NPC style with a graphic interface. So I wanted to show you all how these work, because this is how the admin shops and the player shops are going to work. So firstly, we're in the bank, which is our sell shop. So these are the villagers that you can sell things to. So for instance, I've got some sugarcane. So I'm going to go over to this admin shop, and he's got all of the organic things to the plant stuff. So if you look here, if you hover over it, it'll tell you how much you can sell and buy things for. You can have an NPC set up to where they buy only, where they are sold to only, or they can do both. These villagers are set up to sell only, so I can sell 16 sugarcane for 80. If you hover on all of the shops, are going to have this little anvil in the bottom, and it tells you what you need to do. So right-clicking is selling and left-clicking is buying. If I try to left-click on this shop, it doesn't do anything because this shop does not have a buy price set. So if I right-click, I sold, you can see in my chat back here, I sold 16 of them for $80. Now I have more than that. Let's say I had like 10 stacks. I wouldn't want to sit there and spam click on this the whole time. So if I were to hold shift and then right click, it sells everything I have in my inventory of that type. So it sold all of my sugarcane. Now, some of these, if we go over to the drops one over here, some of them we don't have selling in smaller increments, like the drops that you get from like XP grinders, for instance, like rotten flesh. You only sell a whole stack for $5 because you can spam get it through XP grinders. So I've only got 4 rotten flesh in my inventory, so if I try to sell, it's not doing anything. But if I shift click to sell, it will sell them. You see, it's a minimal amount because remember, a whole stack was $5. So this plugin does the math for you. So it sold my 4 items. So if you're just regular clicking, it'll sell in the increments that are set up by the shop. But if you shift click, it will sell everything in your inventory. Now, this does not happen with buying, so you don't need to worry about accidentally spending all of your money to buy way too many of one thing than you wanted to do. That functionality only works with selling. So now let's say you want to make your own shop. You don't need to find a villager or anything. This plugin will spawn that villager style NPC for you. So I'm gonna set up a shop real quick. So the command is you start with playershop. And then if I hit tab here, you can see there's a bunch of different options. Some of these options will not be available to the regular players. Some of these are like staff style options, but we're going to do create. And then I'm just going to name it test. This plugin is capitalization specific. So if I were to create this shop named test with a capital T, and then I tried to edit it later and I wrote test with a lowercase t, it's not going to work. So you need to be specific with capitalization. And then, like if I show you here, you need to set up a size when you make your shop. It has to be a multiple of 9. The biggest that you can do is 54. So I'm just going to start out with 9. You can change this later. So this is my player shop villager. As you can see, it'll have the name of your shop, and then it'll have the player name after that, so you know who the shop belongs to. By default, our server, we have it set up so you can have 5 of these. So if you have them all at the largest size, then you can have 5 shops with 54 different slots. Now, if I click on him right now, he's empty. We need to edit him. So I'm going to go back into player shop. I'm going to type edit shop, and I'm going to type test with a capital T. Alright, so here's the interface. So as you can see, even though he was supposed to have 9 slots, he's only got 7, because these 2 we'll look in his inventory in a minute, are going to be taken up by other things in the graphical interface. So now let's say I want to sell some bread with my NPC. Alright, now this can look a little intimidating, so I want to go through and explain what this graphic interface means. So let's say I want him to sell bread. I'm going to click on bread while I have this open, and you can see now this slot is going to be taken up by bread. I can decide on how many pieces of bread I want to be involved in each interaction. So if I want people to buy 4 at a time, then I can use the numbers over here, and you can see now this interaction is relevant to 4 pieces of bread. Now, if I want to just reduce it to 2, I click on this plus so that it goes to minus, and then when I click on the 1, it will subtract 1 instead of adding 1. You can also do this in increments of 10 and 20. If I spam 20 all the way up, it'll only go up to 64, so the most you can do is a stack. But let's go back down to 1. So let's say I just want to do 1 piece of bread. This middle row is the buying price, and the bottom row is the selling price. So let's say I want people to be able to buy bread from me for $20, and I want them to be able to sell bread to me for $10. So now what this shop is set up for is, for 1 piece of bread, you can buy 1 piece of bread for $20, or you can sell 1 piece of bread for $10. So now if I click this green wool block, it saved it. And so now you see that slot number 1 is red. That means there's already something in that slot. I can click on it again to edit it if I need to. So now let's go back and look at him. So here. Now when I look here, that first slot is taken up by bread, and when I hover over it, it says I can buy 1 for $20 and I can sell 1 for $10. Problem being, he's only got 1 piece of bread in his inventory right now. One issue, I'm not sure if this is an issue on my end and I haven't set something up correctly, or if it's an issue within the plugin. If you look at this crafting table over here, it says if you are a shop owner and you click on the middle mouse button, it should open and close the stockpile. I have yet to get that to work. So as of right now, I don't know of any way to like look and see how many pieces of bread are in the shopkeeper's inventory. I'll have to look on their Wikipedia page and see if it's a bug or if it's just something I'm not setting up right. So if I want to stock up my villager, I can either do it 1 at a time by clicking on the sell button, or remember, if I shift sell, it'll stock all of that type into my villager's inventory. So now if I go in, if a regular player were to come interact with him and were to click on this, it would buy it. When it's me, it's just taking it. So let's take all this bread out here. Remember, you can't shift click to do that, so we'll have to do it manually. Okay, so now if I go into chat, I see this item is unavailable. So now that's how you would know that your shopkeeper is out of inventory on that item. It doesn't get rid of the GUI slot or anything, he's just empty. So you would need to stock him up again. Now, let's say you made your shopkeeper, but that's not where you want him. You want him to be somewhere else. Just walk over to wherever you want to put him and do playershop move, and then type the name, and it will just teleport him to your location. All of the villager skins appear to be that green nitwit style villager, but they seem to vary based on which biome you spawn them in. So if you want your villager to have a certain look, you could create it in a certain biome and then move it to the biome where you actually want your shop to be. Like you can see, he's got like some frills around the bottom, and I think that's jungle specific. So you could use the move command that way, or if you make your shop and then you decide you want to make your shop somewhere else, or you want to add on to your shop and then move him, you can move him around. So you can also rename it. So if I want to rename him Tester, I would need to type test first so it knows which shop I'm trying to rename, and then Tester. And now you can see his name is Tester. Now let's say you're done with your shop and you want to get rid of it. The first thing you need to do is you need to take all of your stock out of the shop, because if, like, let's say if I left a bunch of bread in this shop and then I deleted it, all that bread's gonna be gone. It doesn't drop it on the ground or anything, it's just gone. So you need to empty everything out of your shop before you delete it. So I can go in here and that's how I see, okay, my shop is empty. So now I can go in and I can do player shop, delete and then type the name, and then he's gone. So you don't need to find a villager or anything to make a shop. Remember, again, you can have 5 shops, and the maximum size that each shop can have is 54 slots. If you want to resize a shop that you've already named, that you've already made, you can go to the resize option, and then you would type the name of it, and then you would just type whatever number you want it to be. Remember, it has to be in increments of 9 because it adds a row at a time. So you can do, let me do some math, 9, 18, 27, 36, or 54, I think. I might have missed one. So that's our new shop plugin. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't need to revolve your shops around making enough space for a bunch of signs and chests anymore. Now you can actually make them cutesy and have little shopkeeper NPCs that you can have running your shop. And I'm hoping that this is going to be really exciting for our server, and I hope you guys are going to like it.